and he went down. And when he went down, he and his brother were sentenced to 30 years in prison.
That 50 Cent personally canceled a significant event scheduled in Big Meech's honor. Tensions between 50 Cent and Lil Meech have skyrocketed. Meech is now enraged. Insiders claim that 50 used his power to obstruct licenses and withdraw sponsorships, therefore canceling the show before it started. The event was supposed to honor BMF's legacy and raise exposure for future projects. Lil Meech quickly retaliated, engaging 50 in a furious altercation over what he described as flagrant sabotage. According to witnesses, Meech charged 50 of attempting to control the BMF narrative for financial gain and obliterate his father's legacy. "This story is not yours," he yelled, "My family does," during a private discussion that swiftly descended into hostility. The incident has sparked massive debate online, with fans split between those defending 50's business decisions and others.
A stand-up dude doing his time would suddenly say, "I don't want to be here no more. I'm gonna become a rat bastard."
Siding with Meech, arguing he has every right to honor his father's name. One of the most heated times in their tumultuous relationship to date is this dramatic altercation. Additionally, the aftermath could irreparably harm their once powerful alliance because emotions are running high. Big Meech, 50 Cent, and Lil Meech are getting into one of the most heated altercations the hip-hop industry has witnessed in a long time. After months of building up behind the scenes, tensions are suddenly blowing over in the open. 50 Cent recently started publicly disclosing purported cases of Big Meech's collaboration with federal officials, rekindling long-standing discussions about legacy, loyalty, and treachery. The highly anticipated Welcome Back Legacy event, which was supposed to commemorate Big Meech's comeback, was abruptly canceled, shocking the industry and the public, further escalating the conflict. Lil Meech responded by taking over, wanting to protect his father's legacy and reputation. Big Meech, whose real name is Demetrius Fennery, is the renowned founder of the Black Mafia Family, or BMF, one of the most potent and significant criminal organizations in the history of the United States. BMF established a huge empire in the 1990s and early 2000s, laundering millions of dollars through their record label and making enormous profits from illegal activities. Must ultimately appear for a bond hearing. Everywhere you looked, there were cameras. There was a scene. They were a powerful force because of their strong ties to hip-hop, and Big Meech's name became well recognized in the entertainment industry and on the streets as a symbol of strength, respect, and dread. But when Big Meech was given a 30-year sentence in federal prison for his part in planning the BMF's statewide operation in 2008, the empire came tumbling down. Although the conviction signaled the end of an era, it also paved the way for the power battles and betrayals between family members and former allies that are currently being openly shown. Big Meech's influence on the culture persisted even after his imprisonment. His name persisted in reverberating across the hip-hop scene, and the hit's release only strengthened that reputation. BMF is a television show that 50 Cent developed. By dramatizing the Black Mafia family's growth and demise, the show made their narrative a cultural icon and introduced it to a new generation. The fact that Meech's actual son, Lil Meech, was chosen to play his father on television added even more credibility to the family name and helped to keep their tale alive in the public consciousness. In the present, Big Meech has at last made it back home. However, rather than tranquility and joy, his name is once more entangled in dispute. Tensions from the past have returned. Additionally, 50 Cent, Big Meech, and Lil Meech's long-simmering hatred is about to explode. 50, who has a reputation for taking a tough stance in disputes and never giving up, has been openly criticizing both father and son. His problems with them go back years, but when Big Meech was spotted getting back in touch with one of 50's most infamous adversaries, Rick Ross, the situation escalated to new heights. A federal indictment was filed against the brothers. Georgia is the source of the RICO case. The BMF was the first organization to be charged with being a criminal organization and having a member who had been shot and subjected to serious violence. He was seriously wounded by a gunshot, 50 seems to have been driven over the edge by that partnership. What started off as subtle criticism swiftly escalated into open conflict, leading to one of 50's most contentious actions to date, accusing Big Meech of being a snitch. The charge startled people, particularly considering Big Meech's standing as a reliable street-certified personality. It all began when Rick Ross advertised a welcome back show for Meech online. In response, 50 shared a picture of a rat on Instagram, expressing his feelings on the matter and initiating a heated argument that hasn't stopped. 50 Cent is drawing attention to something that goes well beyond a normal rap feud. It goes right to the core of Big Meech's heritage and reputation. Several reports state that Meech was released from prison early for reasons other than good behavior or legal wrangling. According to the claims, he had a relationship with Tammy Cowens, a well-known government informant who allegedly assisted in negotiating his lenient sentence. According to sources, Meech's brief jail sentence may have been made possible by Tammy's cooperation, which gave police important information on other members of the BMF organization. When Blue Da Vinci, a former BMF member, openly declared that Meech had in fact complied with the law, these allegations were further strengthened. The streets were rocked by the dramatic accusation of enforcement. This was sufficient confirmation for 50 Cent. He quickly spread the word about those allegations, using his position to criticize Meech and challenge everyone's preconceived notions about his alleged no-cooperation policy. The streets' response was swift and forceful. The values of loyalty and silence, which characterized Big Meech's reputation in the underground and hip-hop, served as the foundation for his whole legacy. Culture. Who said you were unique? You claimed to be unique. For some who had viewed him as untouchable, learning that he might have given information to federal authorities felt like a betrayal. Not only was it harmful to some, but it was catastrophic. Lil Meech, of course, had no intention of passively watching his father's image be publicly destroyed. He was so offended by 50's remarks that he took to social media to confront him head-on, accusing him of intentionally damaging the BMF and disrespecting his family. Heritage. He didn't stop there, though. Lil Meech revealed behind-the-scenes conflict that many people were unaware of by sharing private text messages between himself and 50. In those chats, he pointed out that 50 had begun managing up-and-coming singer Skillabee with Rocket, an introduction Lil Meech himself had made, and he attacked 50 for unfollowing him on Instagram. For many, such texts depicted a betrayal that went much beyond insults in public. It revealed a serious breakdown in their relationship, and stoked rumors that 50's intentions went beyond the truth, to include control over the BMF brand and its story. Lil Meech expressed in those released messages how severely 50 Cent's recent actions had betrayed him. In his outburst, he expressed his disbelief at seeing that 50 had unfollowed him on Instagram and was now running Skill Baby with Rocket, an artist he presented to 50 himself when no one else was even aware of his identity. It was more than business to Meech. It concerned allegiance, confidence, and he thought they had formed a bond. Big Meech's home benefit concert on February 13th. It will become iconic. Yes. 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 Look, you've been amused by a mediocre small-budget series. Therefore, I do want to shoot a BMF movie. The time has come for a high-budget movie. Going so far as to claim that he would have taken the shirt from his back for 50, he made it clear that he would have done anything for him. Additionally, he refuted the claim that he had ever deceived 50. Lil Meech maintained that the scenario had been twisted beyond recognition and that he had remained faithful throughout, despite public opinion and the ongoing problems. But when he brought up his father's contentious relationship with 50's long-standing nemesis, Rick Ross, it was the true surprise. Lil Meech said it wasn't a question of picking sides. It was purely monetary. Ross, he acknowledged, had given Big Meech funds to help pay bills and maintain operations until the BMF series' upcoming season. This disclosure provided fresh insight into Big Meech's intentions and implied that their relationship with Rick Ross was more business-related than intimate. That justification, though, didn't appear to lessen 50's position in the least. 50 doubled down in traditional fashion by trolling online, rather than demonstrating any understanding. In response, he made fun of Lil Meech's remarks in a vicious Instagram post, writing, "What next season, little ninja?" He could easily recast the role or cancel the show entirely if he so desired, according to The Jab, which was a blatant threat. The message conveyed by the post was strong. 50 was not merely a joke. He was reminding everyone that he was the reason BMF, the show that made Lil Meech famous, existed, and that he could easily end it if he so desired. The ruthless power move demonstrated how much influence 50 still had over the matter. And it made many people question whether this enmity had reached an irreversible stage. One or two posts didn't stop 50 Cent's trolling rampage. It became a full-fledged internet spectacle. 50 made fun of Lil Meech once more in a follow-up post that was later removed, much like many of his earlier posts, by implying that joining Love and Hip Hop Atlanta would be his next professional step. He even wrote, "I'll give Mona Scott Young, the reality series executive producer, a tagging, a request for him later today." It was just another scathing jab intended to degrade Lil Meech's reputation and diminish his significance in the business. However, the shenanigans of the 50s on the internet did not end there. When word leaked out that Big Meech's much-awaited Welcome Back show had been abruptly postponed, rumors that 50 was involved quickly took off. The time and circumstances, according to many on the streets, were too suspicious to be disregarded. Additionally, based on 50's actions, he wasn't doing much to refute such reports on the internet. By sharing an AI-generated video on Instagram that included Big Meech and Lil Meech's faces superimposed on a tumultuous love and hip-hop argument scene, he really fanned the flames by depicting them as a father-son pair disintegrating in public. In a less than subtle reminder of the charges that still loom over Big Meech's legacy, he posted another video after that. This time a scene from the BMF series in which his character confronts Lil Meech about his father's culpability. Additionally, when detractors and when fans started blaming him directly of ruining the show, 50 reacted in the usual way, denying any involvement but using a lot of irony. "I was not involved in this. Don't call my phone, please. I genuinely hope today is pleasant for you. Cheers to Valentine's Day." He wrote, "I'm stronger than you think I am," which seemed more like an insult than a rejection. Both Big Meech and Lil Meech, according to several insiders close to the matter, are certain that 50 was the real cause of the cancellation, and they have no intention of letting it go without a fight. Meanwhile, social media has been rife with conflicting views regarding the whole situation, with some users speculating that this may be 50's first significant setback. One commenter wrote, "This probably the first L for 50. Lil Meech had nothing to do with that, in my opinion." It's cheesy. Others were much more brutal, as evidenced by the widely shared comment, "50 demonstrates to me daily why they shot him 9 times. Nonetheless, a sizable portion of the population feels that Lil Meech is merely a victim of a conflict that began long before he entered the picture, and that, despite his best efforts to remain impartial, he will inevitably be drawn further into the conflict between two influential figures in street culture and entertainment." Conflict behind the scenes. Industry insiders say this isn't just a small-scale social media dispute, but a power struggle that could permanently change the future of the BMF brand. With tensions already at an all-time high, the fallout from the canceled concert and the growing public feud are starting to expose deeper rifts within the BMF legacy. According to reports, 50 Cent is quietly getting ready to move forward with new BMF-related projects without Big Meech or Lil Meech's involvement. There are rumors that major streaming platforms and production partners are reluctant to get involved with any future BMF-related projects until the public drama subsides, and that this change could mean a complete creative overhaul of the series with new characters, new storylines, and possibly even a new lead actor. This would not only sideline the Fennery family from their own story, but also deprive them of the influence and control they once had over how their legacy was told on screen. That kind of baggage can cost millions in a business where reputation is everything, and it's becoming more and more obvious that the infighting is causing more harm than any rival could. What's even more startling is how quickly public opinion has begun to shift. Big Meech, once seen as a symbol of street loyalty and resilience, is now facing widespread criticism for the alleged deals with insiders close to 50. Cent say he sees this as evidence that betrayal always comes full circle and that he doesn't need to retaliate directly. because he doesn't need to use informants or align himself with 50's longtime enemy, Rick Ross. Meanwhile, Lil Meech's attempts to defend his father are being viewed as desperate moves by a son caught between loyalty and survival. The BMF empire is already beginning to fall apart on its own, and 50 continues to dominate television, movies, and music with new. The question now is whether Big Meech and his son can rebuild what's left of their legacy, or if this chapter marks the beginning of the end for one of hip-hop's most infamous dynasties. Because if things continue down this path, the BMF name might no longer stand for power and loyalty, but rather could become a cautionary tale of betrayal, greed, and self-destruction. Projects, the Feneries risk fading into the background of the very empire they helped create. Think that 50 Cent secretly loves him, but the facts indicate otherwise. 50 has made a career out of conflict, using controversy as his most effective weapon from his early days as a mixtape artist to his rise to international fame. Over 20 years later, this strategy hasn't altered. He still thrives on high-profile rivalries, calculated shots, and public feuds. And this situation with the Fenny family may be his most recent. And the question that remains is whether this is just another chapter in 50's lengthy history of trolling, or if it represents something much more strategic. While some insiders think that his constant attacks on Big Meech's reputation and credibility are part of a deliberate attempt to completely separate his brand from the BMF name, others think it's about control, about rewriting the story on his terms and making sure that the public perceives him as the true power behind the BMF story. One thing is certain, this situation is far from over, and the fallout could change everything we thought we knew about BMF, loyalty, and legacy. Meech's loyalty to his father raises its own questions. Is he defending a legacy worth saving? Or is he unwittingly fighting to protect secrets that haven't been revealed yet? And could all this drama, the accusations, the betrayals, and the public feuds be part of a larger power play going on behind the scenes of the music and entertainment industry? Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more stories, analyses, and investigations directly from the Culture's Center. The next chapter in this saga is coming, so please share your thoughts in the comments before you leave. Do you think 50 Cent is just stirring the pot for attention, or is there a deeper motive behind his attacks? You won't want to miss it. You won't want to miss it.
More difficult to ascertain who was actually in charge of choices that might have had an impact on Kirk's life. Meanwhile, the FBI is still being criticized for not disclosing surveillance footage. It goes beyond issues of national security and privacy. It comes down to trust. The most crucial piece is being withheld, raising concerns about an organization tasked with upholding the truth of the case. Candace Owens has emphasized time and time again that there is no reason to conceal anything if there is nothing to conceal. That comment gained widespread attention and became a catchphrase for people who think the case is more nuanced than the public has been informed. Then there is Olivia Robertson Cobb Bishop, whose name has grown more and more contentious, an employee of the ORM Police Department. She was reportedly the first person to arrive in the area shortly after the occurrence, in addition to just happening to be on the site. According to some, she was a hero for responding swiftly amid the mayhem. However, several have questioned this, including Owens. For what reason was she there? Did she know anything inside? And why were her precise whereabouts that day not publicly available? Suspicions that the case was more than a tragedy have been sparked by these inquiries, as well as other witnesses who have changed their accounts or remained silent. It appears to have a more intricate plot with potentially pre-planned actions and decisions. An imperfect but suggestive picture is painted by the flimsy evidence, the contradictory statements, and the authorities' willful silence. In a time when everything can be changed with a press release, this case is not only about a man's death, it's also about power, information management, and the boundaries of truth. Candace Owens claims, why did this happen if it was a random incident? Olivia Robertson Cobb Bishop's testimony is only one aspect of a much bigger and more complicated picture. Maybe it is that question, not the answer, that has the country wondering. She is not the only witness who has connections to law enforcement or government organizations. Numerous people in comparable roles have come forward, resulting in an unsettling trend where there is a growing blurring of the boundaries between individuals directly involved in the case and government monitoring. It cannot be a coincidence, according to some, That so many law enforcement officials were involved in the same incident. It implies a higher degree of monitoring or intervention, where apparently independent people may be connected by covert relationships, according to Candace Owens, who has been tenacious in her pursuit of the case. Owens contends that the so-called witnesses in this instance could not be merely eyewitnesses, but rather components of a prefabricated narrative. The picture grew increasingly hazy as independent journalists and investigators dug further. No matter how minor, every new discovery seemed to create more questions than it resolved. An unreleased video recording, a new employee. The case appeared more like a complex maze due to shifting testimony. Many started to wonder if the truth was actually being revealed or if it was being purposefully kept hidden. The public seemed to be caught in a never-ending loop of uncertainty and waiting as one door seemed to open and then close. Owens contends that these elements go beyond simple negligence or a lack of openness. They propose a methodical attempt to steer the story. Perhaps the question of who is responsible is out of date. Who gets to decide what the public may and cannot know is what concerns now. Charlie Kirk's case is now more than a personal tragedy or a criminal probe. It now serves as a representation of how knowledge, influence, and power can combine to change the truth. Additionally, as Owens stated in a recent podcast, when things don't seem to add together, it may be the individual sorting through the clues that matters more than the clues themselves. Finding the guilty is no longer the only goal of this drama. It's about looking for the truth in the midst of silence and power. How do you feel about all of this? Is it true? Concealed directly before our eyes? Leave a comment below with your opinions. Additionally, remember to watch the upcoming videos to stay up to date on all the newest advancements in this tale that the entire world is watching.